So I saw a clip of Kenley Jansen who was stopped where he was going and he was talking to TMZ. And obviously, Kenley Jansen, the Braves closer, he's a free agent this year. And he was talking to a TMZ reporter and they were asking him his thoughts about, Atlanta and going back to, potentially going back to the Dodgers and stuff like that. Here's what he told TMZ about Atlanta. Quote, I can tell you all great things about Atlanta. Atlanta is awesome. The fans, the people, the organization. I had a great time there and we had a great season there. But he was also asked about the idea of, a possible return to the LA Dodgers. And he said, yeah, he said, that's something that I could explore. That's all. We're going to look at all the different options and things like that. So do the Braves want Kenley Jansen back? This will be an interesting call for the Atlanta Braves. Now, look, I know as soon as I bring up the name Kenley Jansen, all of the angst and everything like that starts to happen. He did save 41 out of 48 chances this year. That's 85.4%. Just to give you some perspective, because in the words of my friend Eric Bischoff, context is king. All right. So in the context is king world, okay? I know Edwin Diaz is the gold standard for closers, and he's got his music and bop, 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 right? Okay. He was at 91% save percentage for the year. Jansen would have had to have had 3.5 additional saves to finish with the same percentage as Edwin Diaz. So it's not like, because Jansen had 10 more saves, but it's not like the difference in their save percentage was so staggering that, again, that they don't even compare to one another. And I understand the angst and everything like that of Kenley Jansen. Would I be open to the idea of bringing Jansen back? Yes. Now, obviously, at the trade deadline, the other big move that they made is they traded for closer Raisel Iglesias, who is under contract, and he's got some money locked up and tied up in him, okay? He's been a closer in the past. When he was with the Reds, he had seasons of 28, 30, 34 saves in a season. A couple of years ago, he had 34 saves for the Los Angeles Angels, who he came over from. And then this year, before the Braves grabbed him, he had 16 saves on the season for the Angels, which is not a bad number because considering that the Angels were dreadful this year with Trout and Ohtani and all those guys. They fired their manager and didn't win squat out there. Do I think Raisel Iglesias can handle the job of closer? Yes. I got no problem turning it over to him. And I think a lot of us wanted to see what he could do, right? Jansen's one of those guys getting a little bit older. And understand, when people were calling for the idea of Jansen to be replaced or this or that, or whatever like that, understand Kenley Jansen does one thing. He closes out games, right? Like he has one job and only one thing that he can do, and that's to close out. He's not a setup guy. He's not a bridge guy. He's not a this. He's not a that. He's an end of the game, hand him the ball. I got hundreds of saves, and I've been in big moments, and you give him the ball and go. But I get the angst out of all of it. And to be fair, that's the life of closers. The last 2 years, for the division winning Atlanta Braves, Will Smith, Kenley Jansen, all the angst of it. But at the end of the day, they by and large get the job done. Again, Kenley Jansen was 85.4%. That's not top flight. That isn't Josh Hader. But then again, there's nobody in the league that's Josh Hader like. And again, 3.5 saves is the difference between, if Jansen had 3.5 more saves, he would have had the same exact save percentage as Edwin Diaz. And you start to get into the 90 plus percentile. That's the magic number in Major League Baseball. If you're at 90% or above, you're in elite territory, right? But not every closer is Dennis Eckersley from 1992. Guys are going to have their blips and bloops and ups and downs and bangs and bips and bops and stuff like that. So that's kind of expected out of all of it. So I'm not completely against the idea of Jansen. I don't think that the Braves will bring him back. I think Iglesias is going to get the look at being the closer. I think they're going to run with him. But it was interesting. Obviously, Jansen enjoyed his time here. We'll see what happens there. We'll talk more about this in just a second. But reminder, we appreciate you making our show the first listen every day. Your second listen needs to be Locked On Sports Today. Check out the podcast. Biggest stories of the day, instant reactions, big game recaps, take of the day. Locked On Sports Today is available on the Odyssey app, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcast from. So, look, when we talk about the idea of where the Braves are going to invest money in this, that, and the other, I don't know that they're going to, even for a 1-year decent kind of deal, bring a Jansen back. You got Iglesias. He's under contract. You've got a pretty good group of bullpen guys, the McHughes and Minters and guys like that, that I don't think that the assets need to be allocated to a guy like Jansen. Again, it wouldn't be the worst move in the world, but understand, if they bring Kenley Jansen back, they're bringing him back to close. They're not bringing him back to set guys up and to bridge and stuff like that. This is you bring Jansen back because he's a closer in Major League Baseball. I think personally they'll turn it over to Iglesias when all is said and done, which again, I have no problem with. I mean, if you look at some of his metrics and some of his numbers as well, the strikeouts are right in line. He's almost 11 strikeouts per 9 innings. He was a little bit higher with the Angels this year than he was with the Braves. With the Braves, he was just over 10. With the Angels, he was over 12. He's had, over the last couple of seasons, multiple seasons where he's been 12, 13 strikeouts per 9 innings. So he fits all the mold and everything like that. And you're paying him, right? So if we're talking about moves that need to be made, how much payroll are we bringing on? How much are we adding? We got to go get a shortstop, or we have to re-sign Dansby, or whatever's going to happen there. Do they go out and make a big move as far as a starter goes? The more that I read, the less that it's probably realistic that they're going to bring on DeGrom. Because DeGrom's opting out of $63 million. He ain't playing here for fish heads and rice. He ain't coming here to take less money. He's opting out of $63 million. There's your starting point, 33, basically $32, $31 million per year over the next couple of years. There's your starting point. You ready to have a $40 million pitcher that has only pitched 26 times the last 2 years? I don't think that's going to happen out there. But look, I appreciate what Jansen did. I know he gives people a lot of angst and a lot of just uneasy feelings and stuff like that. But welcome to closers in Major League Baseball, right? I mean, look, they let Iglesias pitch next year and he closed games out. Guess what? He's going to have some troubles too. And let's be honest. How many big-time moments has Iglesias had to close games in? He's pitched for the Reds and the Angels. How many pennant-chasing save opportunities was Iglesias getting? So there's always that factor of the unknown about, okay, when the competition ramps up and it's not just a save, it's we're trying to win the division and get ourselves back in the playoffs, there is that added pressure on there. So, again, I think he'll be fine. I think that's the route that they're going to go. You've got enough of your other bullpen pieces and things like that. So I appreciate what Kenley Jansen did this year. 41 saves, 48 opportunities. I know that 7 number just sticks out like a sore thumb to Braves fans, but still, if you look, it was a successful season for Jansen. We'll see, but I think Iglesias is going to get the job, the closer job, when all is said and done. All right, I want to talk about my friends over at Built Bar. Listen, Built.com is the place to go. You're looking for low sugar, low carb, low calorie, high protein snacks. It's funny. Last night, I'm going on after the Hawks game last night. I had a couple of Built Bars that I brought with me to just kind of snack on. Didn't really eat dinner, just had a couple of Built Bars to snack on. Check out all of the different flavors. They always got a new flavor coming out each month. And we've talked before about the protein-infused marshmallow puffs, right? You want something with a little different taste and texture. The marshmallow puffs are the way to go. Last night I was eating a coconut bar, berry, all kinds of cookies and cream. They got all kinds of different flavors. So head to Built.com today. Go through their extensive menu of products. Get your order together. And when you get to checkout, use the promo code LOCKEDON15 at checkout. LOCKEDON, the number 1, the number 5. Use LOCKEDON15 at checkout to get 15% off your order. Simply use the promo code LOCKEDON15. You'll get 15% off of your order at Built.com. Check them out today.